what if I told you there's a machine built by Stone Age farmers designed to capture the sun? And what if I told you it's so perfectly engineered that it still works flawlessly more than 5,000 years later? Well, this isn't science fiction. It's a real monument in ancient Ireland, and its story is going to change how you see the distant past. So this is Newgrange. At first glance, you might just see a big grassy hill sitting in the fields of County Meath, but trust me, this is no natural feature. This is one of the most sophisticated and most mysterious prehistoric structures on the entire planet. And when we say prehistoric, we really mean it. Carbon dating tells us this thing was built around 3100 BC. That's over 5 millennia ago. To really wrap your head around just how ancient that is, get this. This structure, built by a community of Neolithic farmers, is older than the Stonehenge we all know and love. And it's even older than the Great Pyramid of Giza. It was built long before the empires we usually think of as the dawn of civilization.
Okay, so that brings up a huge question, right? How on earth did a society that didn't have the wheel, that didn't have complex metal tools, build something so absolutely massive? This was a truly staggering engineering feat. The builders moved an estimated 200,000 tons of earth and stone to create this monument. I mean, that's an almost incomprehensible amount of work for the people of that time. The scale is just hard to get your mind around. It's 85 meters wide, 12 meters high, and it covers over an acre of land. This isn't just a tomb. It's a man-made mountain.
And here's the crazy part. They didn't just use local stone. These builders were incredibly picky. They sourced specific materials from all over the island. That shimmering white quartz for the outside, that came from the Wicklow Mountains 50 kilometers south. The dark, rounded cobblestones hauled all the way from the Mourne Mountains 50 kilometers north. This wasn't just construction. It was like a nationwide pilgrimage of materials. And the result? A glittering wall of white quartz, a beacon that was designed to be seen from miles and miles away. Can you just imagine what this must have looked like 5,000 years ago, shining in the Irish sun? Just incredible. But, as impressive as the outside is, the real secrets, they lie deep inside. Once you go in, you find a place just steeped in art, ritual, and these quiet whispers from the past. A single entrance leads you down this long 19-meter passage, all lined with these massive stone slabs. It takes you right into the heart of the mound, where it opens up into this beautiful cross-shaped chamber. And look up, that incredible roof is corbelled, meaning they just stacked stones closer and closer together until they met at the top. It has stood completely unsupported for millennia. So what did archaeologists find inside? Well, fragments of human bone, some burnt, some not, which tells us this was probably a tomb for honored dead. They also found grave goods, things like pendants, beads, and pins. But here's a weird detail. The ceiling has no trace of smoke, none, which means this pitch-black chamber was never lit by torches. And the stones themselves are basically canvases. They are absolutely covered in some of Europe's finest megalithic art. You got the famous entrance stone, carved with these mesmerizing triple spirals. We have no idea what they mean, but the skill, the artistry, it's just undeniable. But the tomb, the art, the sheer scale of it all, it's all pointing towards the monument's greatest secret, a mystery that, believe it or not, is solved by a single, impossibly precise beam of light. It all boils down to this one crucial question. Why? Why go to all this trouble? Why build a 19-meter-long tunnel that leads into absolute total darkness? What was the point of it all? Well, the answer is as simple as it is breathtaking. It wasn't meant to be dark forever. It was built for a very specific event, one that lasts just 17 minutes on one specific day, the shortest day of the entire year. You see, the builders created this small rectangular opening just above the main entrance. It's called the roofbox, and it is a masterpiece of prehistoric engineering designed for one single purpose, to catch the very first rays of the rising sun on the winter solstice. And this is the payoff for all their work. On that one morning, a narrow beam of sunlight shoots right through the roofbox, travels the entire 19-meter length of the passage, and perfectly illuminates the floor of that dark inner chamber. The precision is just astonishing. 5,000 years ago, the first light would have entered at the exact moment of sunrise.
For about 17 minutes, the tomb is reborn in light before it plunges back into darkness for another whole year. And because of a tiny wobble in the Earth's axis, today the light enters 4 minutes after sunrise, but incredibly, it still works perfectly. Now, after about 1,000 years of use, Newgrange fell into ruin, and its purpose was eventually forgotten. But the memory didn't just disappear. Instead, it transformed, and it survived as myth and folklore. Okay, get ready, because this is where science and myth collide in the most incredible way. Recent DNA analysis of the remains found in the chamber revealed something shocking. A man buried there was the son of first-degree relatives, most likely a brother and sister. This kind of royal incest is something you really only see in so-called god-king dynasties. And then, all of a sudden, an ancient Irish myth makes startling sense. It tells of a king who commits incest with his sister, which breaks a magic spell that was holding the sun still in the sky. To find scientific DNA evidence of royal incest inside a tomb built to control the sun, that's just a jaw-dropping link between archaeology and folklore. The story of Newgrange is really this powerful cycle of loss and rediscovery, and it gives us this amazing window into our distant past. After its original use, the entrance collapsed, the mound was covered over, and it was basically lost to time. It was only rediscovered by accident in the 1600s by workers looking for stone. But its greatest secret, the solar alignment, stayed hidden until the 1960s, when an archaeologist named Michael O'Kelly was the first person in millennia to witness it. Newgrange proves that our ancient ancestors were incredibly sophisticated astronomers, engineers, and artists. They encoded their knowledge of the cosmos into this magnificent structure that is still speaking to us across 50 centuries. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other secrets are still locked away in stone, just waiting for us to understand them?